Hello. How you doing out there? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. First name's Donnie, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul. Baby! Welcome to the New Life Recovery Show. The theme is mental health. And our tagline is, if I think better, I can do better. Make sure our guest is with us today. Are you in there, Leroy? Are you in here? I don't see you, buddy. Got your camera on. Our guest today is Dr. There you go. Dr. Leroy McKenzie, the impact builder. You know, since we're going through all of this, if you wrote, what can go wrong will go wrong. Let me tell you, I got a book coming out. One of the things I'm working on. And in that process, there's so many little things that go into producing a book. We're talking about it from a mental health perspective. And there's so many people you need. You need your editor. You need your graphics person. You need the person to format the book. Let's try it again. And in all of the people, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Give yourself a little more headroom.
Yeah. Can you see me? Is that better?
Okay, that'll work. I was just saying that as I'm putting together this book, my third book, I needed an editor. I needed a graphics person. I needed a format person. And I needed a Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. to assist me with the ISBN number, the barcode, the copyright. Things I've done before, but I haven't done this since my last book, which was 2021. First book was 2015. And in managing all of that, you better have your mental together. Help me, somebody. And so, Leroy, as I explained to you beforehand, this show is about mental health.
Yes.
In producing a book, is it taxing on the mind from your perspective? And you have how many books out?
I have a total of 12 now.
12 books. Is it mentally taxing?
It can be, yes. The aspect of it, if you don't have a process in place, it can be very taxing. If you don't take the time to be clear about what it is that you're trying to do and what you need to do, it can be very taxing. Even just writing the project can be taxing because you may get in areas or spots where you just really aren't mentally there. You could have, life be life sometimes, and it keeps you from being able to kind of focus on what it is that you're trying to write. So yeah, it's a part of the process, Donna. Right, no, but that's a part of that taxing part is a part of the process. Trust and believe. Anybody that tells you different, they lying to you.
So I heard you say you have to have a system.
Mm-hmm.
And a system often requires a team.
Correct.
And that's dealing with other people.
Mm-hmm. Taxing.
What do you mean?
Because This is something that I learned in corporate America. You can be great at what you do. You can have your stuff together and everything like that. But when you have to depend on other people's work to get your work done, that can be frustrating because everybody's priority is not your priority. Everybody's skill set and the way that they do things is not the way that you do things. So what you may deem important may not be what I deem important. So as a consequence, hey, that what you need to get done right away. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it done when I get it done. So that aspect of it, having a team can be, can get frustrated or can be frustrating if everybody's not on the same page.
So when you're writing a book, you're leading your project.
Correct.
You
Absolutely.
are
Should
you are
be.
you are the leader.
Yep.
You set
Absolutely.
you set the tone,
Exactly. Yep.
and you need these other people in order to be successful.
Correct.
So
Correct.
if your mind ain't right, if you done cussed out Dr. Leroy McKenzie,
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to cuss your editor out. It's just like you go to the restaurant and fussing and cussing your waiter out or the chef out. I don't think you want to do that.
Leroy, it's all about relationships.
Yes. Woo. Yes, absolutely.
And the first relationship is with ourselves.
Hmm.
It's what we tell ourselves. Earlier today, I interviewed Lance London.
Okay.
Lance London is the owner of Carolina Chicken.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
He's got several hundred employees.
Hmm.
But even a Lance London, who's making plenty Skrilla, doesn't have everything.
Yep.
My dad said it like this: God was wise. He didn't put all of the natural resources in one place.
Mm.
He spread them out all over the world.
Hmm.
Why? To make man interdependent on each
On
other.
each other.
As much
Hmm.
as you may hate a people, just keeping it 100, you may hate this group of people, or you may hate that group of people, or you may hate people from this country or that country. But in the global scheme of things, they've got things in this country that you don't have in this country, and you need them.
Yep.
Now, how are you gonna get what they got? I would recommend peaceful solutions. But we live in a world
Hmm.
where those with the biggest guns
Exactly.
tend to take what they want.
Hmm.
But that doesn't create a good relationship. Let me give you an even better example. When I first went to grad school back in 96, my first attempt at a thesis was going to be about the reversion of Hong Kong back to China. Now, a lot of people don't know this is the New Life Recovery Show. The United Kingdom, Great Britain, they owned Hong Kong.
Mm.
Little country all the way over there. Little country. Europe ain't that big. Little country, little island. Great Britain. Through their colonialism and through the opium wars, because this is the New Life Recovery Show. I'm just talking about geopolitics. Great Britain owned Hong Kong because China lost Hong Kong during the opium wars. China got Hong Kong back in 1997 after 150 years. Now imagine this, Leroy. Imagine me come and taking your car for 10 years. And 10 years later, I give it back to you. Are you going to have some resentment?
Absolutely.
Watch this. Who is the largest producer of fentanyl in the world? China.
Um, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say Hong Kong or China.
As produces 90% of the world's fentanyl. And most people know that
Wow.
fentanyl, a little speck can kill. A speck, a dot can kill. It's highly potent. And
Okay.
fentanyl is being mixed in all kinds of drugs and sold on the streets of the United States.
Right. Right.
Do you think China could give a rat's bottom how many of us die?
Not at all.
Yeah. So anyway, I asked you to come on, and it's so interesting how we're getting to the why of today's show.
Hmm.
I wanted you to talk about some of the. Well, first of all, let's talk about your books. Tell us about your books, your latest book.
Well, I have a compilation. I was a part of an anthology um, that had to do with mothers, man, and it was a beautiful book. The author, the kind of mastermind behind it was her name is Kendall Lamnice, but it was memoirs or memories of what our mothers taught us, and so it came out Mother's Day or just before Mother's Day, and I got to write about my mother, man, and I got to talk about the lessons that I learned from her growing up as a child and even now being being a man, and just those gems that were given to me, and then and all of the other contributors talked about their contributions, from their mothers and everything like that. So that's a project that I was able to be a part of, and then the one that I really love is a book called Remain. I actually did the editing, but also was a contributor to the book, which is the author or creator of it is Donald Morton, and just a phenomenal dude. But he wrote a book called Remain, which is actually a book for men, and it deals with us as the character of us as men, living life with integrity, living life with humanity, with living life with responsibility and accountability. And he takes you through this whole journey of who we are as men and how to be better men. I'm sorry, because I actually got a copy here, but this is the book. But this is a powerful. This is Donnie. I lie to you now. I say this is a book that every man needs to have in his library. It's a must read. It will change. It will transform your life. No, and I tell every man that gets the opportunity to be able to get this book, and I get the opportunity to be able to talk about it, is to say this is a book that you need to have in your library. Not a digital download, and even though that's available, but the physical copy so that you can mark it, take notes, do all of those things, because he has this transformative science called the character arc, and the character arc is comprised of what he talks about in the book, and it just gives you the ability to be able to face this character arc each and every day as a man. And the character arc part of it is responsibility, ethicality, mastery, accountability, and nobility, which is remain. But those are the dynamics, the principles of
Let's let's
of the
let's
book,
let's,
Remain.
let's list them again. What are they again? Accountability,
Res- yeah, responsibility,
responsibility.
ethicality,
What's that word?
ethicality.
Ethicality.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Your ethics, dealing with your ethics, mastery, accountability,
and nobility.
and nobility. Right. And facing those aspects of our life and conducting our lives in that way each and every day, from a spiritual standpoint, and as a man, and are we being responsible, are we operating ethically, and mastery is this small space between, because remain is an old word, but the small pace of life, leadership, and legacy. Life, leadership, and legacy, that small spot where they all intertwine, that's mastery. When you can get to that little small spot, because everybody can't get there and everybody won't get there, but the goal is to have that be, have you, so you're doing life so well, in your life, the leadership that you are as a man, and the legacy that you want to be able to leave. That's the ultimate goal, and that's what this book assists us as men to be able to get to. It's a phenomenal book, man. It being a part of this project, reading it, and everything else, man. I can't thank his name is Donald too. I can't thank him enough for, for writing this book, and I thank him every day for the character arc that he's done.
Leroy, Dr. McKenzie, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the first thing, I thought I saw Donald Morton Glover on there, and I was like,
You was like, somebody stole your name, huh?
no, I said to myself, I said, Leroy, I didn't write that. And then I read further, and I was like, hold up, this is not that. Then I had to go back and read again. And what I'm getting to is, how many things can you effectively do at one time?
Well, that's the thing. You can do multiple things
A
at
strength
one
and weakness,
time.
you can do
But
one thing effectively at a time.
and I agree, and I do agree with that. I do, and I agree with that. And I think if you're going to master something, you have to master it. To master something, that means you are so honed in on what it is that you're doing, that you only think about doing that thing.
In finishing a book,
And
in finishing a
yes,
in finishing a book, can you do a book and something else at the same time?
yes. And here's how I look at it. I tell authors, you should be finishing a book, actually, where you finished it, promoting it. You're actually out there promoting it, working on it, everything like that, doing that aspect of it. You should be writing a book, in the process of going through writing a book, but then you should also have a book that, the next book that you're going to be working on. That's a cycle to me. So that's doing three things at once. I got a book that I'm finished and I'm promoting. I'm out here talking to people about it, getting people to about actually purchase the book. I'm working on a book because I have another project, another idea that I'm doing, that I'm going through, and then I know I got one in the chamber. That I got ready. I might have written some notes on it and everything like that, but I know I'm going to be working on that one next, and that becomes the cycle to me. So that's working on, multiple things at one time to me when it comes to a book.
I might be there mentally. I know I have an idea of what I want the next one to be,
Hmm.
but I also try to go with in identifying what the next one is going to be. It has to make sense. My first book was a
Correct.
autobiography, unapologetically black. The second one is I Am Black Wall Street.
Hmm.
This third book, and thanks to people like you, including late night calls, you, Leroy, Dr. McKenzie, is, I can now announce, and I'm breaking news right here on this show. Journalpreneur is my next book, and prayerfully it'll be out by my birthday at the end of the month. So, but in terms of putting the finishing this current book, I had to shut
Hmm.
everything up. Had to shut this down. Can't talk to nobody. Can't be talking
Yep.
about this. Is this, and at least you need, at least for me, I got so much going on. Got clients, got this, got events, but I needed at least 5 days uninterrupted
Erupted. Hmm. Hmm.
for this to be
Yep.
at the level that I needed to be at.
Hmm.
And I think that might, does that fit into mastery?
Yeah, because because Donnie, you're locked in. You're trying to be locked in on getting the project complete. You ever? I mean, you know how Kobe Bryant was when and I remember this was back when I forgot which finals that they were in. They went up 2-0, and the reporter asked him. He's like, Kobe, y'all up 2-0. You're not smiling. He's like, why not? He's like, what for? The job's not done. And that's how we that's how we have to be when it comes to completing the project in order to get somewhere. It's like, look, I'm only focused on getting the job done. Until that's done, nah, nothing else is gonna, is gonna deter me. Nothing else is gonna be an obstacle in my way because I'm gonna make sure that I get complete what it is that I need to get complete, and I need to have these other things that may come up because you get friends, you get all the other your business, all these things want to come up that kind of get in your way and take you off of your focus. But when you are honed in and you have that mastery mindset, man, you're like, nah, I'm getting this done. If I got to shut the phone off, if I got to got to put people out the house, so to speak, I need to be
Let's talk.
honed. I need to.
Let's and y'all forgive me. I'm supposed to say Dr. McKenzie. I fall back.
No, no, man.
His-
Donnie, that don't matter to me with
I
you.
want them to know because I'm working on some degrees too, and I get my PhD. I'm going at Dr. McKenzie. But I've known of this man. His mom and my sister were friends when I was a kid.
Yep.
So our families have been together for a long time. But tell me about and anybody listening. I think you can apply this to a whole lot of things besides writing a book.
Hmm. Yep.
But tell me about my home. You just said
Hmm.
sometimes you may have to put people out of your house. And I'm hearing. I think I'm hearing you say you have to have some boundaries.
Yes. Absolutely, you've got to have boundaries because if you're going to complete your project, and this is like you said, this applies in life. If you have goals or assignments, things that you want to accomplish in life, you have to have those boundaries. And people have to be, they either fall in line with the boundaries that you have and respect them, or you said, you know what? Look, I can't deal with you right now because what I'm dealing with, I have to have these boundaries. Because if you don't have those boundaries, Donnie, you'll find things come up all the time. It's always going to be something. It's always going to be somebody. I got a friend of mine, Donnie. I lie to you not, love her to death, but it's like sometimes, like, nope, I'm not talking to you today because I know that you not that I'm not going to be able to get work done because you want to take up my time talking about all these other different things when I got work to do. I got things I got to do. So yeah, you have to show people how to respect your boundaries. And if they don't leave the home, then you know what? I know for this amount of time, I'm gonna go find me a spot, go find me a place that I can go to, that I can get the work done that I need to get done in order to be able to complete a project, in order to do the things that I need to be able to do. Truly.
We need peace in our relationships, and I mean, it may be a significant other. How
Hmm.
many times have you and I and others, everybody out there, with a person beside you, your
Yep.
significant other, we say ride or die, but if the significant other, if me and the significant other are going through some tumultuous times,
Hmm.
that can mess with my mastery of this project, and vice versa. if we are in the supportive role, we gotta allow that other person to finish their assignment.
Yep.
So tell me about this nobility. What's this nobility about?
Well, that has to do with who you are as a person. Are you a noble person? Are you someone who acts nobly towards others? You know, it is when people describe you, do they describe you or you're part of your character as someone, who is thinks about others. When you think about the Nobel Peace Prize, you think about that when they describe him as a noble man. They describe him as being someone who cared about other human beings, who wanted to do the right thing because it was the right thing, not just because it was an act, not just because it was a show, because it's the right thing to do. That
The,
to me, that's what being noble is.
the quality of being noble in character, mind, birth, or rank, a man of nobility and learning.
Hmm.
Would you say our elected officials are noble?
Don't get me started, dog. You trying to get me in trouble,
I
bro.
mean, you started. I'm not thinking about messing with you.
I'll say it like this: there are some that are noble, but there are some others who are not. That I would describe as they are not noble, but there are some. There are some noble, I think, officials. There's some,
In
you
here, it
know.
says the quality of being noble in character.
Right.
Uh, a
Hmm.
drug dealer actually told me this once.
Okay.
He said, it's not what you do. Character is not what you do when everybody's looking. Character is what you do when nobody's looking.
When nobody's looking, absolutely. He was right on point with that. It absolutely is.
Sometimes we think we're
And
doing
and,
something
and
and nobody see it. God
yep.
see it.
But here I'm gonna add to what you just said. It's not only what you do when nobody sees you, but it's what people say about you when you're not around. How about that one? Yeah. How do people define you or describe you when you're not in the room? How do they talk about you? That that right there is powerful.
Why is it powerful?
Because man, it to me it speaks volumes, and it shows me what people truly believe about me. I got a lie to you not. I got a phone call this morning from it, and it's from a lady, and I haven't even had a chance to return her call yet, but I will this afternoon. But I get a phone call, and she left a voicemail. She said, "My name is so and so, and um, the gentleman by the name of so and so said that um, you know that you're the person to talk to about writing books." I don't know this person from anybody, but on the referral of someone else, they called me to get to discuss working on a project that they had. That's what I'm talking about when I say how are people speaking your name. That the person that referred me thought enough of me when they were in the conversation with this woman that had wanted to do a book, that said, you know what, I know somebody you should talk to. That's the ultimate respect for me when people speak my name like
I'm gonna put it up here. Reputation, the beliefs or
that.
opinions that are generally held about someone or something. His reputation was tarnished by allegations that he had taken bribes, a widespread belief that someone or something has a particular habit or characteristic. His knowledge of his subject earned him a reputation as an expert.
How will speak people speaking your name when you're not in the room? That's your reputation.
As you were talking, it made me think about the business that I get from referrals.
Hmm.
Got
Hmm.
9,000 phone numbers in here. There's no telling who might call. And,
Correct.
and if a number comes up that's not in here, I'm going to first say answer your phone. I will say we live in an era where people are always trying to clock your voice, AI,
Mm. Yeah,
scams,
yeah.
but
Hmm.
you got to answer your phone. If you're in business, you got to answer your phone. And maybe you don't say, "Hi, this is Donnie Glover." You might just say, "Hello." Sometimes
Hmm.
if I don't know the number, I might just say yes. And if you can take
Mm.
that yes and do some scam on me, then I guess I'm just susceptible. But what I'm getting to is you never know who might call you, but invariably, there's been some big names that have called on this phone. Donnie Glover.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you got to catch it. You got to catch that hot one coming down the third base line. But it's such a great feeling when somebody like interviewing Lance London. Lance London came on the show because of Nicole Kirby. You know Nicole Kirby?
That name sounds familiar. It sounds familiar. Sounds
Nicole
familiar.
Kirby runs Carver PR.
Okay, okay.
One of her clients was Jamal Harrison Bryant.
Brian. Okay. Hmm.
Can you imagine being Jamal's PR person?
Yeah.
Exactamundo. Can you imagine being Donnie Glover's PR person?
Yep.
So that's how awesome she is. So this cat Lance London, who's owner of Carolina Chicken, and he's certainly a serial entrepreneur. This cat is
Hmm.
phenomenal. I mean, just
No.
but through it all, he came on the show because she felt he needed to be on my show. To
Hmm.
God be the
But
glory.
but that goes to what you were saying a little bit just a few minutes ago, Donnie, about relationships and resources. Relationships are resources. Clarence Avon said that in his documentary, The Black Godfather. Relationships are resources because they connect us. They connect the dots, man. They connected. They put us in what I call your ecosystem. Who's in your ecosystem? That's your ecosystem right there, Donnie. Your phone is your ecosystem. Cause you got folks in there that half of us ain't even thought of being able to be able to touch that you can touch. But that's how and you when you're a noble person, that 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 ecosystem expands because people talk about you. They put you your nobleness can put you in rooms that that you might not readily be able to be in.
Boy, you are preaching today, Dr. McKenzie.
I'm
I'm gonna
just
put
saying.
I'm gonna put something up here for you. Have you ever heard this phrase before? Your gift will make room for
Room
you.
for you. That's one of my favorite verses, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Some
And it's
people,
Psalm 8.
I've seen it with pretty girls. I've seen a pretty woman. I've seen a pretty woman go in the same room I've been in, and she can do something I cannot do. I cannot physically do it in a million years. It ain't happening. Woman walk right in
Hmm.
and heads turn, especially if
Hmm.
she can articulate something or do
Right,
whatever her assignment is.
right.
At the same time, I've gone in rooms that the pretty girl didn't go in.
Exactly. Exactly.
When did you realize your gift?
I think I realized it when, as far as writing goes, when I showed my my poetry, because that's what I started doing. I started writing poetry
Me too.
first.
Actually,
Um,
I started writing love letters. It was the first grade.
you
Well, Leroy, that was the first grade. I love you.
was Mac Daddy in the first grade, Donnie.
Hallmark ain't had nothing on me. Remember them little notes you slide? Will you be my girlfriend?
Right? Yep. Yep. Yes or no? For sure. But I wrote poetry in college just to kind of get stuff out of my mind. Didn't think of anything of it because it was just a hobby to me. But when I showed it to some friends of mine, some individuals, they were like, "Man, you need to put this in a book." And so I said, "Okay." I didn't know anything about writing, back then. I was like, "All right." So I did my due diligence, did my research and stuff like that, and created the books. But here's what really touched me about that gift, though, Donnie, was one Christmas I wrote to my family. I wrote a poem to each of my family members, my mom, my sisters, and what they meant to me, and even my closest friends at the time too. I wrote a poem for each of them individually and what they meant to me, and I can't even begin to tell you the response that I got from them out of that. I was like, ooh. I was like, wow, like I didn't know I had it like that. I was like, I thought something, but to actually see that's the way that their response was. And then even now with the the business books, those that I've written, and the book that I've written for men, and being a part of these the compilation books, the anthologies, to see the power of our words. And you know this because I mean you're in media, but the power of our words, and the feelings that we evoke out of that, and even the imagery, the power that we evoke through media and people's perceptions. That's what you do as a gift, man, because you give people the visualization of things. You're a master of media because you give people a lens with which to look through that they probably half of them don't even look through because you think about things in a totally different way than everybody else does in mainstream media. That's a gift. And so I noticed it back then, but as I've grown, I've honed that gift. So it does, as the verse says, will bring me before great men and make room for me because I've decided to use the gift.
Two things come to mind, and thank you for this interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you put in the into the comment section your contact information so people can
Okay,
get
I
you.
will. I will.
But two things come to mind. One, as I was interviewing Lance London earlier today and you today,
Mhm.
this this comes to mind. And what also comes to mind is Og Mandino's book, The Greatest Salesman in the World. He said in his book,
Okay.
The Greatest Salesman in the World, his name is Og Mandino. And he said, the
Hmm.
greatest salesman in the world enters the marketplace with love in his heart. What I heard you say about those poems you wrote your mom, your sisters, your best friend, you put love in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lance London talked about his grandma and when she cooked, and it made me think of my
Mm.
mom when she cooked. Them
Yep.
big mamas, a lot of young girls don't notice, them big mamas put love
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
their food.
Yeah.
They touch the
Yeah.
food.
Yes, sir.
Touch, and people can say what they want. I'm telling you, you got to touch the food. They put
Yep.
love in it. Grandma, nobody's food tastes like theirs because
What
they
was it?
a minute that you're not gonna get at this other spot. She gonna put that love. Matter of fact, she put so much love in it. When you get to these spots out here in the world, you like you can't touch grandmas. Y'all tell
Yep.
me I'm lying. It can't touch grandmas.
No, sir.
Can't
No, sir.
touch this.
With and I love the song by Bill Withers, "Grandma's Hands."
Clap the church on Sunday. Grandma. I first really remember the song from Gil Scott-Heron.
Really? Okay. 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 Okay.
Grandma's hands played the tambourine so well. Grandma's hands used to issue out a warning. She said, Scotty, why you run so fast? Might fall on a piece of glass, might be snakes there in that grass. Y'all don't want me to start up here. You got to put love.
Gotta
Uh,
put love in it, man.
the greatest salesman in this world. That was one piece. The second piece is from another book, Rick Warren. And I don't know how we can do this show and not talk about purpose.
Mm.
So purpose. Tell me about purpose. His book is Purpose Driven Life. I read it over in Tanzania, and he said
Okay. Okay.
that we all have to tap into our purpose, which is a part of our gift.
Mm.
Bishop Kevia Elliott said, your passion will lead you to your purpose, and your purpose will lead you to peace. Tell me about purpose, your purpose in your life.
Yeah, and my purpose in my life, Donnie, is to make life better for others. And it comes from me wanting to understand that every encounter that I have with somebody, it is my responsibility to make them better. Even if it's just 1% better each and every day. And I say this on my podcast
Say that
each and
again.
every day.
Say that again. I gotta wrap my brain. I want you. What? I gotta make them. What?
Yeah. I wake up understanding that my purpose is to make people better 1%, just 1% better that day than they were yesterday. And by what I mean by that is giving them something that they might not have had um, other if they did not have the encounter with me. And that's and I say it every day. My purpose is to make you better by the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. And I do that by doing different things along the way throughout the year to make people better. They be like, oh man, that taught me something. Oh, that I hadn't thought about that way. Or the work that you did this for me. This that you did for that for me. It's making people better. I wake up with that assignment each and every day, dog. That's my purpose.
All right. So you got some pretty sharp answers. Uh, hold up. I got one. I ain't finished with you. I want you to handle this topic for me. What do your top 5 friends say about you? No. No. Understand the question. They say we are the median of our
Mhm,
closest associates.
mhm.
So when you look at those 5 top people around you in your life, are they 5 broke people? Are they 5 entrepreneurs? Are they 5 rich people? Because for instance, it has been said, you've heard it, that rich people only have rich people. They say a rich
Rich
person
friend.
rather give another
Right.
rich person, something than to give a poor person anything. That's what's been said. And we
Well,
live in a country that is so individualistic and so materialistic. I mean, our kids are getting slammed by social media like no generation ever before. Why
yeah,
is it
yeah.
important? What do we want out of those people closest to us? Do we want 5 cocaine addicted friends? Do we want 5 alcoholic friends? Or do we want 5 friends who are all persevering and prospering in their purpose?
Well, here's what I believe you should have, and I call it your circle of impact. And you should have people around you, and it could be 5, it could be however many. But my closest friends, I have 3 closest people, 3 people this is what I mean by close. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm stuck out on the road, and I gotta call somebody to come get me. Who is going to come and get up out of their bed, no questions asked, and come get me? That's my closest friends. And every single one of them, without hesitation, I can say they would do that. Not even questioning. All right, I'm on my way. Those are the folks that I got, and that's my inner circle, as Jesus called it. That was his inner circle. Peter, James, and John. Those are my Peter, James, and John folks. And what I would hope that they would say about me is that I am, and I've had people tell me, including them, that I'm consistent, I'm committed, and that I'm reliable.
You are
And as a
reliable.
consequence,
You are
yeah,
absolutely reliable. Because
and
I
as
ain't
a
going.
consequence,
You know, before I told anybody, I called you because I don't have to deal with any of the foolishness. As you were talking, man, I was thinking about my German Shepherd. Why they say
mm,
a dog is a man's best friend. Unconditional. People got
mhm,
conditions. I'll do this for you if you do this for
you do
me.
this for me.
So you just define friend. Who can you call at 2 in the morning?
2 in the morning. It's 2 o'clock. You stuck on the road, on the side of the road, and you got to make a phone call. Who coming to get you? No questions asked.
That's the stickler there. No question.
No questions asked. They ain't. All right, okay. Where you at?
Cat Williams say, Cat Williams say, you better get black people, you better get some white friends, and white people, you better get some black friends. Cat Williams say, you call a white person up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Hello? No, that's not the number. No, it's a 7, not a 9. Hey, well, if you can't get it right, just call me back. We'll figure it out together. Call a black person up 2 o'clock in the morning.
What's wrong? Who? What's going on?
You
Somebody.
are your cotton picking man. Let's get back to Remand. We talked about Remand. I want to make sure you plug this. What do you want people to do as it relates to the Remand book? You want them to buy it?
Yeah, the remand they can go to www.remandbook.com to get the book, but also understand too that the remand book actually supports the remand organization, and this is the remand organization is the premier organization for adult black men. And I'm gonna send you I sent you the information, Donnie, on the gala that's coming up in October, because this is the one, and we talk about, you and I both know all of these organizations out here that deal with men and those kind of, this is the only organization, I promise you, that deals with issues that we have as adult black men. I'm talking from having an agenda for the policymakers that you talked about earlier today, politicians with an agenda. Here's what we want. Here's how we're going to get it from you. And we need your assistance in being able to do what it is that we need to do to make sure that we as men, as black men, specifically as black men, be able to be who it is that we need to be, so that we can be the head of our households as we're commanded to be, or anointed to be by God. That's the thing. And the gala coming up in October. It's going to be in Atlanta. It's actually a fundraiser. It's the gala and fundraiser for the nonprofit leg of the organization to support men who are coming out of prison, but then also men who are in the C-suite. But to address those issues, like I talked about, being responsible, being ethical, mastery, being accountable, and being noble, and addressing those issues through the character arc, through the organization, and giving black men the tools that they need in order to be able to be the men that they should be.
Now, this is going
And
to
I'll
be out
make
at
sure
the
I put that in the
airport,
notes.
Hartsfield International Airport.
Say it again.
This is going to be the Remand Gala happening in October. It's going to be at Hartsfield International Airport. So it's not in Atlanta, the city. It's out at the airport.
It's at right, the West End, yeah, the West End Hotel, the West End Hotel at the airport. Yes, Absolutely.
Okay. Now I just read the email you sent me last night, so
Okay.
I'll respond to that. I was thinking if I'm coming to Atlanta,
Yeah.
I got to do me a Black Wall Street award, and if I go
I
to
know. I know
Atlanta,
you've done it down there. Yeah, you've done it down there too. So yeah. Yeah.
well, I'm just saying if I go to Atlanta, I got to find me something to do past the
Yeah.
airport. Uh,
Oh, okay. Got you. Got you.
is there a website?
Yes, and I'll put the link. I'm sorry, I'll put the link in there as well too, so you can have that where to go to in order to be able to register. Yes, absolutely.
You don't know it offhand. You can't share with the people now.
Uh, no, I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know about heart. I'm sorry.
Well, I say, can you put your contact information in the
In the
comment?
in the comments, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
sure, I will. I will.
And,
Yep,
and so,
absolutely.
so while we do have this time, put a plug in for yourself.
No, actually, if people want to connect with me, they can connect with me through JNF Enterprises, through the link, my LinkedIn page, which is http colon // link tree, and that's linktr.ee /JNF Enterprises. Put that in. All of my information will come up. All of my social media handles are in there as well on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel. I have plenty of digital content for entrepreneurs who are seeking to be able to reclaim their time. If you are an entrepreneur and you want to get your processes and procedures in place in order to be able to be more successful and be able to, excuse me, serve the people that that you serve in a better way. Connect with me. Connect with me, so we can create a
If,
strategy for you.
if people want to get involved with this Remand conference in Atlanta in October, they can email admin
Correct.
at remand.info. And so, do you want to put your phone number out there? You want me to type it in?
Yeah, you can. I can say. I'll say it. 443-762-2324.
443-762-2324. Tell them one more time who you are, Dr. Leroy McKenzie. And,
Dr. Leroy Mc.
you know, I was talking to two people today, two powerhouse people, and I told them both you need books. Tell them why you need a book,
Yep.
Leroy.
Well, your book becomes your legacy blueprint real quick, because your book outlives you. Long after you gone, those words that you created, the words that you wrote will be beyond. That's something that your children, your children's children, your children's children's children will be able to reflect back on and be able to see who you are. And it also just gives you the ability to be able to be seen as an expert in what it is that you in whatever industry or field that you're in. Those are the two things, powerful things that it does for you.
He said, that's my granddaddy.
Yep. Exactly.
Any final thoughts, Leroy? Dr. Leroy McKenzie.
Just like I said, we're halfway through 2024. What's your purpose through the end of 2024 look like? What are you doing with the rest of this year? Not only the rest of this year, but I said this the other day too, Donnie, and I gotta go. Entrepreneurs and great people think in decades. They don't think in days, weeks, months, years. They think in decades. Because what you want to be in 2034, you're making those decisions right now as to what you'll be in 2034.
Thank you for investing in me, Dr. Leroy McKenzie.
Absolutely, bro. And I'll have something for you in a little bit this afternoon, okay? Because I got an answer to them.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
All right.
Folks, we've been talking with Dr. Leroy McKenzie, a powerful show. I hope you got as much out of it as I have. Yes, selfishly, I want to keep people who are in the realm of writing and producing books. I want to keep them around me so that I can be good at what I do. But at the same time, I know I have to give back. And people don't just help you for any old reason. You got to be a blessing. It's got to be mutual. I'm big on reciprocity. I think Ben McCormick likes reciprocity. He's always doing for other people, and I try to find ways to be a blessing to him for people who do things not looking for anything in return. So I'll share this final thought with you. With a closed hand, nothing gets in and nothing gets out. With a closed hand, nothing gets in, nothing gets out. With an open hand, however, there are endless possibilities. Sometimes we're so busy holding on to the past. Sometimes we're so busy holding on to something that is gone. We can't ever receive what's to come. We all struggle with it. Everybody from the president to the dope man. Everybody struggles with it. People in recovery, people recovering from everything. People recovering from life, from drugs, from alcohol, from gambling, from bad relationships, bad marriages. I just saw a story. Mark Clark was interviewing a lady about the little girl and the parents. They went on a cruise. They went off on an island. Little girl couldn't find her parents, so she got back on the cruise ship. Question for the next show: would you leave your parents on this island, or would you go and find them and stay with them? I think I'm gonna stay with my mama. But anyway, up today, down tomorrow. Do your day and everything will follow. Nothing to it but to do it. I got to do it, regardless of how I feel. I am somebody. I am my brother's keeper. Good afternoon, world. If I think better, I do better.